Okay, at this time, I'll call the January 11th meeting of the West Memphis Utility Commission to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the December 14th minutes. Received them in your packet.
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Brown, second by Mr. Smith. Any additions or deletions? All in favor? All opposed? Minutes are approved. Next item is introduction of Bob Atkins. And I guess you're going to do
Okay, yes. Well, after the search committee's 6-8 months diligent work, we're happy to welcome Bob Atkins as the incoming general manager of the West Memphis Utilities. He will start February 12th. He is here for the next few days, house hunting for a place in West Memphis. So we'll welcome him here at the utility as well as in the community. Bob, we're happy to have you. We're pleased to have you. You can't get here soon enough.
I'm sorry? I got a spare bedroom if you need it. Sorry, but they've all been back.
Well, thank you for such a warm welcome. Like Mr. Wimmer said, my name is Bob Atkins, and I'm very, very excited about this opportunity. I'm very excited to be here. I'm not going to bore you with my resume, but I will tell you that I have over 35 years of diversified experience across utilities. I have a very strong financial background, and I think that's relevant because I think my experience and my education will be an excellent fit for this position. I see a lot of growth potential here in West Memphis, and I'm really excited about the opportunity. I think the utility will be a very important catalyst to some of those economic opportunities and great changes that I see coming. So I'm very excited to be a part of that. Very employee-centric, and I look forward to just getting in and making a difference. I think there are a lot of opportunity to, that's one of the things that energizes me, so there's a lot of opportunity here to really make a big difference, and that's really exciting. So I look forward to working with each of you in the future, and I can't keep your time. Thank you
for that. So Bob's coming at a really important time for the community at transition. As you know, the coal plants are shutting down. We're going to be in that transition of finding replacement generation. Do we work with the other co-owners? Do we go to a gas plant? Do we do this? Do we do that? And as Dana and I were talking, we grew up here, coal was the only answer. Price of coal changed $1 maybe. The railroad contract changed $2 something. Now we're looking at fuel adjustments all over the place. Bob's got a deep history background in diversifying portfolios, understanding the RTOs, the capacity issues. It's a great time for him to be here, to get involved with this process. This is the year we have to start committing to the replacement generations. We're looking at renegotiating our contract with NextEra to give us some gap coverage. So there's a lot of important power issues that are coming up, and Bob is well suited to take that. So he's excited with our AMI and all the potential it offers, the things that we can do to the community, with the AMI, and we're looking forward to get started. He's been drinking from the fire hose from the last 2 days as we've been talking, and he's still here. So we look forward to it. And to let you know my plans, he'll be the general manager. The mayor's asked me to stay on just to help with the transition, to help with some of the background. I've been here since '87. I know a lot of the networking to help him. So I will be working part-time, 3 weeks, take a week off to travel with my wife and do things. And I'm still the economic development director. And we're still slammed with all those projects and I'm the acting city engineer, so I'll be here to help Bob, but in my office I'll be here for a while, but I may eventually be moving back to my office at City Hall. So anyway, I'll still be here for a while. You'll still be seeing me, so, but Bob will be the boss starting February 12th. Okay?
Thank you.
You're probably looking for some less relief, huh?
That's what I told him yesterday.
Don't be asking them to help any of the economic development problems.
Hey, those, those are good problems to have. But we had a great site visit Tuesday, so anyway.
Utility manager historically has worked with economic development, because one big thing is the power.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, in the utility, 100% funds the economic development office. And so my salary will be coming out of economic development. Okay, thank you.
Any questions, comments? Glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on our agenda, I'm going to stand up, is the December safety report. Mr. Sims is not here today. He's home sick, so it's in your packet. You can read it.
Yeah, we had no
You guys
significant
can-
injuries in the last 30 days. People, yeah. No changes there.
Okay, next item is the financial report.
Great, let's get to it so we can get over it. Okay, so here at the top, we have our numbers for December. I know Tori gave you all January and November last meeting, so for December, our total electric revenue sales was 2.1 million, 2.2 million roughly. Total water was 186,000. Total sewer was at 221,000. We had other income of $607,741.53 total. You look over at the UT expenses, this is a summary through December 31st. So these numbers, they include all of our accounts payable as well as our payroll expenses, and that came out to 27 million. So we're looking at a net profit. I'm sorry, 27 million was the amount for departments 411 through 422, and then we have about 6.5 million for 1411 through 1422. So that was a total of 33.6 million. So our net profit is $1,406,573.80.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question, just kind of as a, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what items are included in that other income? Is that like
Oh,
fees or?
yeah, it's several different items. I'm sorry, I should have printed off a copy of the
No,
paper because I can't think of the exact objects off the top of my head, but like return, check fees and,
Anything that's not water, sewer, or electric goes.
right, all the
category,
other,
basically.
yeah,
And
all the other categories.
meter fees to change out, if there's a fee associated with that, that goes to the other, not in the electric, right?
Right, exactly.
Thank you. That's kind of where I'm at.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the AMI update.
We still have somebody to do that.
I'm ready to slap
Maria.
Good morning, everybody.
now.
All right, so electric meters, as you can see, in October we were at 11,541. January of this year we're at 11,700. We are still changing out some of the electric AMI, but it's not contractors, it's my department. Changing out some of the three-phase commercial and transformer rated commercial. On water meters, they're still working every day, doing anywhere from 30 to 60, 75 a day, depending on the issues they have. Of course, water's a lot rougher than electric. But we're looking at, so far, 4,099. They are still working, they still come in during the code. I doubt they will next week, travel in while there's snow on the ground. But they're still going at it steadily, and we're moving on. Yes,
How
sir.
many water meters do we have to be replaced?
Approximately 10,500.
And you meet once a week, talk about,
Actually,
tell us
twice.
a little bit about that.
Yes, sir.
The dashboard and
Every
Our hopes and
Monday,
dreams.
we meet with all the project managers, because there are multiple, some from Tantalus, some from our Utilismart, which handles the UDM, which is Department of Customer Service, the ladies in the office and so forth use. Also Annexter, which is a project manager that actually we are kind of like our contractor that is all over all of it. And then we pretty much discussed where we're at, where we need to be, and if there's any issues that need to be taken care of. And then on Friday mornings, I meet with the project manager of Annexter, Tantalus, and Utilismart to discuss if anything, need to touch base on where we're at. Kind of like with payments, you have to sign off on certain things at certain points. But that's every Monday and every Friday. We are coming to the end. We're just about there. We actually do a little bit of training, what was that, Tuesday, on our outage management system, which is going to help the line crew a lot, because it's basically going to give them a huge map that tells them this group of meters are out, this line or this transformer specifically. So it will be more efficient, and they'll be able to response time and get things done much quicker. It's going to be a lot of training on that, because there's a lot to it, but we did touch base on the first part on Tuesday. Eventually, with that system, we'll be able to tell where there are EV chargers. It will kind of look at it to say, okay, at 5:30, this consumption goes way up, and then it cuts off about 9 or 10 o'clock or so, depending. So it will kind of let us know where there are EV chargers. It will also let us know if there's a transformer or a pad mount overloaded or underloaded. As y'all know, we're having issues getting transformers. So this will say, okay, Mike's needing 1,000 kVA pad mount, but we're getting low on the yard. We can kind of go through and say, well, this one's got 1,000 kVA, but it only needs a 300 because it's not loading that. We might be able to change it to be able to maneuver going somewhat other direction. So it will help us be more efficient eventually.
Yeah, it will help us as we do, we're putting more effort now into designing the electrical distribution system for our subdivisions, and the wrestle with that, Mike, with just an 8-house subdivision, and in the future, it'll help us tweak that number. And Laura is also point of contact with Annexter and our test program for fiber, where we are looking at powering the fiber with a collar around the Annexter meters, their new meters, and the things that excite the fiber people is you can do it with one fiber instead of two and things like that. Do you have any update on that, or?
They are in the process of getting their United Labs, basically you want to say permit, or being permitted by them for testing to make sure everything is good to go. Once United Labs gives them the stamp of okay, then we'll start production or basically settlement.
We are one of the few test sites in the country. We got fiber down to the housing authority. We've done everything but hooked up the units, waiting on this program, and that's a perfect area that, so in fact people need it and don't have, they're using their phones now, but it's very controlled, and we can test these meters out and be part of cutting edge. So we have that to look forward to later this year.
Yes, it is cutting edge technology.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is wastewater treatment plant update. Excuse me.
So the wastewater treatment plant, this is a little background. We had to do the corrective action plan with AEDQ because of bypass issues and manhole overflows that were driven by the high river levels back in 2021. It just kind of, we needed to make these repairs, so it's got us doing them up to date. We've repaired over 500 leaky manholes. We've done point repairs. We're upgrading some pump stations. The issue is when the river's high, a lot of our system is in the groundwater. You turn a pump on, it starts sucking all the groundwater into our system. Or heavy rains saturate and the system sucks that in. So we're tightening it up. But one of the issues was the sewage treatment plant needed to be upgraded, and we had done a preliminary design with cost estimate for $25 million. We did the $30 million bond to help fund all the cap. Through COVID and staff shortage, AEDQ didn't approve our plans. It took them 16, 18 months, and by the time we went out for bid, the project cost $42 million. And that's what we're talking about. The water rate increase is to help fund that. But I say all that to talk about, we actually started the upgrade even though the contractor's trusting us that by the time he gets into the remaining $25 million, we'll have enough money to finish the contract. But the first order of business was to replace or to build 3 clarifiers. Now, and these are like over 100 foot in diameter. And a clarifier is just a fancy name for a settling tank that as the processed water goes into this tank, some solids settle down to the bottom, some float to the top, and a very technical name for the stuff that floats to the top is called scum. And there's an arm that just sweeps around the top of it, scrapes the scum off, and it's discharged into the sludge drawdown, and all that stuff's removed. It's like, I don't know, when the first time I learned about these, I thought, that's a lot of work just to settle it, but that's the state of the art. So that's kind of what a clarifier looks like. We had been operating with 4. They were, if we had it to do over again, we would have set them at a different elevation because it caused some operating problems, but we're fixing that now. This is the layout of the sewage treatment plant, and the 3 circles at the bottom are the new clarifiers. The 4 up to the kind of top left are the existing ones. We would have loved to dig those out, but we're already so far over budget that we're going to leave them in the ground, and we found enough room to put in the new ones. Now, as you know, we're at the base of the levee, and the issue was we got to dig deep pits for these things. Here's what they look like. And Katarina, our new civil engineer, is keeping an eye on this project. She's down there every day monitoring the work. She's taking these pictures. But you can see we dug a really deep pit, and you can see the levee in the background. And we started this in October, our driest month, with the thought that we either shut down when the rains start or we get a big pumping, dewatering issues. Here it is, almost mid-January, and we're still working. We've got 1 clarifier. You can see the walls up. The second clarifier, so they started with the one closest to the levee. The second one was almost as close. It is well in construction. And we'll be starting the third one, Katarina, the base on it?
They haven't dug the hole for it yet.
Okay,
So
but they're about to.
I think, what it looks like they're doing is it looks like they're trying to get the walls up on the first one before they start digging for the third one.
So they can do some backfill in there, and they've moved, so the pit is progressively moving further away as they start backfilling around these walls. So, we've had a warm winter, but we've been able to pour concrete. You know, often you gotta stop pouring concrete when the temperature drops. And that's not been the case here. And so we're making great progress on this. And there's going to be some cost savings, so the weather's helped us with that. So just wanted to give you an update on that. It's moving forward. And the other big issue that's been hanging over us, our corrective action plan was to be completed last week, December 31st, 2023. We've been petitioning AEQ for an extension. Didn't want to, be gross and blunt, point the finger at them because they took 16 months to approve the drawings. But anyway, we got an extension letter from them 2 days ago, and so we will not be facing any fines. They're working with us on this, and right now we're on track to be completed on time. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the water rate increase.
Talked about this last meeting, went through it, made a presentation to the city council for information only, and the mayor, his comment was he'd like to see after the first year put in for a 2% adjustment for inflation. He's asked that we consider doing away with that. He'd like the residents to know exactly how much their water bill is going to be, with the thought that we have a history of paying our bonds off early. And if this rate will get us through for the next few years, and we get a chance to pay the bond off early or refinance it at a lower rate, then we won't need to escalate the cost. So I'm open to that. Hopefully, if we can do it. If it doesn't work, we can come back in a couple of years and bump it up a little more. But this proposal will generate enough additional income to cover the $1 million annual bond payment for the $15 million bond we need to issue to pay for the sewage treatment plant. And it includes $700,000 that Tori and Evelyn told us was the shortfall between water and wastewater revenue and water and wastewater expenses, because in the past, electric has been subsidized, and so we want to make it self-sufficient. So this increase, based on the last year's of information, should do that. And hopefully inflation is not going to be running rampant like it has. And then one other feature is, the last increase we went from a tiered system where the more water you use, the cheaper it got, to a flat rate. This includes a tier feature, but it does the opposite. The more water you use, the higher your rate. And that increased rate will kick in if your water usage is over the average, which is 6,000 gallons per household. And we've done a lot of projections, and we looked at 53 houses, water rates, and it was the worst case, it would jack someone's water rate bill up by another $10. And so that's kind of a little hedge in case expenses go up a little more than we think. I can't project that revenue because with our data system, we can't do what ifs because we do the max, but it would suggest that would help cover it. So what I could propose to the city council is this rate with the second year just taken off. Y'all want to talk about that or think about it or?
I don't see any smoke, but I see some gears turning. Bob, do you have any thoughts you'd like to share with us?
This is the first time I'm seeing these numbers, so I mean, I do think it's important to structure the rates so that it's a self-sufficient commodity, right? So so nobody ever wants to increase rates, but if we're subsidizing water and sewer with our electric rates, then we're not doing what we should be doing on the electric side without seeing any of the other data. So I would, based on the very limited knowledge that I have, I would absolutely support this. I do like the tiered rate. The higher the usage, the higher the payment. It's just more infrastructure that we have to put in place to support that usage. So it's only fair to me that people that are using that infrastructure should be financially responsible for it. So.
One of the issues we wanted to address with the tier rate doing that is, you know, a lot of West Memphis are small users, but they're having to pay for the meter rate increase, which won't impact people that are larger users as much percentage-wise. So we're trying to spread the pain out, you know. The higher usage will share some of this burden as well.
People are probably going to be more along the lines of fixed income households that aren't going to be using that much anyway, and when they're using more, pay more.
Right, look, you know, watering grass or whatever, or pools, and, you know, we did look at, Danielle pulled 53 accounts between 7th Street and 25th, the third block, and we did an average, and there were 8 houses that were above the average. One of them obviously had a leak, so this is a great way of spotting leaks, which when Maria's dashboard is fully out there, you know, we'll be able to tell, hey, it looks like you have a leak because the water rate's gone up for 2 months. So anyway, I think it's a fair approach, and I'd like to move forward with it. Yes, sir.
Okay. You're talking about doing away with the 2% increase in 2 years and beyond.
Yeah, just
What?
do,
Go ahead.
no, just do the 1 year increase and leave it. I mean,
Okay.
that's the way we used to do it, just
What
raise it
if,
once and.
what if we raise the proposed year one by 1%? And that way you're collecting part of that percentage already.
Raise the rates that we.
Yeah, you
increase.
propose 1 year, raise them half of what the second year was gonna be, 1%, and then that'll carry through and you don't have, you still got some coverage for inflation and increases and all that.
We could do that. What I was trying to cover that with the 2-tier, or the,
Right.
because I can't project how much 2-tier would generate.
I just threw that out, you know,
Well, Tracy, as a commission, council member,
From my standpoint, you leave it as you have it presented. For me, paying off debt is priority number one. You're talking about pennies here, 30, 40 cents. I don't see that's going to adversely affect the community as a whole, that's for sure, or even maybe some of the poor minority. So, but as we talked about before, we get this debt paid off, we're going to roll back some of these fees. I think that's priority number one for me. So I would like to visit with the council and say, let's stay the course. Let's reduce this debt, let's get it off of clientele and roll these fees back.
right, and again, with the climate we're in, we may not pay off the bond as soon, but as Bob, first thing he said, well, you could refinance in a few years. Interest rates will start dropping hopefully, and we'll get relief that way. So, yeah.
Well, I don't see anything great coming out of Washington DC, in all honesty, no matter who wins. So, again.
We gotta take care of
get this
ourselves.
debt paid off. Yes. But that's just me.
Well, I think we need a motion, what to do with this rate increase. Maybe motion that accepts it and
Proceed with this.
ask to move it to the city council would be the motion? Is that what, that's what you're suggesting?
That would be mine. We talked about having a joint meeting between the council and the commission, maybe on the 18th. So I'll give everybody a chance to get the same room, same time, and keep moving forward.
Do I have a motion to proceed with the proposal? Have a motion by Mr. Holmes, second by Mr. Burns.
That's my word.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes to go and work with the original plan. Is there anything else to come before us?
Mr. Chairman, this is my last meeting. Mr. Bruce will be your new liaison. He was supposed to be here today, but he's in Little Rock for the meeting over there. But he'll serve you great. I'm here to represent you anytime you need me. So 24/7, call me if you need me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Anybody else have anything? Yes.
Real briefly, I know it's a volatile subject because it changes every day, but everybody's heard the weather supposed to get bad. Is there anything that anybody needs to do any differently because of the weather? What is the old weather procedures for the utility as far as? I know we had water pipe freeze years ago and water was out, we were under a boil order, and I've heard some people saying some things about that. How do we look?
Okay, so, yeah, we learned our lesson. Yeah, we learned well. The plan had been to put a environmentally controlled building over the distribution pumps with the transducers and sensors, and that just didn't get done again this year. So what we've done, we've put a heat strip on the transducer that would be the problem. And we've got it insulated, and we will be monitoring that. Because last year, for about 4 hours, we were out here trying to defrost the thing. So this year, we'll have crews there. Last year, it happened on a weekend. This year, it's happening on a Tuesday, so we're all going to be here. We'll be watching it. We just inspected the Worthington Park water tank, because, you know, we got to inspect these things every so often and do rehab. We've gotten behind on them, so anyway, we drained that tank, so we're making sure that tank will be full. You know, we got to fill it up, test it, go in and chlorinate it, and then test it, and when it passes testing, we can put it back into the distribution system. So we're driving the test results up to Caribou Lab to hopefully get the okay, and we can put that tank back into production. It's important to have all the tanks and all the wells at capacity, because somebody's fire line, you know, this happened last year. Someone's fire line froze and burst, and you got a 10-inch pipe out there spewing water. Sometimes it's not as easy to find that pipe as you think it would be at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it drains the tank. So, you know, we're all on alert for this. We don't expect, we got through the wind without any major outages. We, at the moment, aren't expecting any kind of curtailment from the transmission RTL, the MISO or anybody. We are monitoring the RTO to the northwest of us that's getting the weather first, the southern SPP, to watch how the weather impacts them. But right now, we're not expecting anything, but as we did last year, this facility that is powered to run the distribution pumps, the water treatment plant, to run 3 of the water wells, uses a lot of electricity, but we have a standby generator, which we got gassed up. We're testing it Monday, running it for 30 minutes, make sure it works, we run it every Monday, but we're really gonna be eyeballing it this Monday with the thought that if we get a curtailment, last time we were warned we may have to cut back to 2 megs. That plant, we take this plant off of the distribution system, it's our 2 megs. So we can meet the curtailment request without it impacting any of our customers. So this is going to be a real short one. So we're expecting to get through, but we're in communication with our EMPA members, fellow members. We all have an agreement to come help each other, and we've got some contractors on standby. We're not bringing them up, putting them in hotels, because we're just not sure we need to this time, but they're on standby in North Mississippi, and they can be up here to help us. So we think we've gone through the drill and are ready for this.
Thank
I think all of you received your statement of financial interest, and I don't know, when does this have to be in the month, city clerk? Anything else?
If you want to turn them into us, we'll get them over to city clerk for you. Or just as quick for you to go to city hall, whatever you'd like to do.
You're coming to
Go
mail.
to the website, fill it out on the PDF.
No, they're supposed to hand it out to you today.
Tracy's saying you can do it online.
Yeah, you go to the website and do the PDF if you don't want to handle it.
Already should have it for you. Yeah, I think he was here earlier.
Oh.
Mr. Holmes, did you get one as well?
Oh, we're good. What's the website?
Arkansas Security, Election Commission, I'll send it to the board and he can forward it to all the members.
Anything else to come before us? Should I have a motion to adjourn? And Scarborough and Mr. Burns second. All in favor? We stand adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.